Okay, obviously you can have your own opinion, but in my opinion, Teeria Legends has the best RPG experience in Terraria. Why should you care? Well, I do have a decent amount of hours playing Terraria, and the server is genuinely really fun to play on. Just a quick note for mobile players, some features may not work currently. The most obvious aspect of the server is its leveling system. So every time you deal damage to something, whenever that something despawns or just dies, you get gems. Those gems are used to level up your character to be able to use more powerful weapons and armor, or you can trade those gems for items from other people. For example, the Palladium repeater requires level 30, while the Orichalcum repeater requires level 36. And since the level of the weapon is directly tied to its usefulness or DPS, you might use a weapon you never thought you would. There are also classes. Each class can only use a certain type of weapon, such as melee damage or ranged damage, and there are classes that cover every weapon in the game, even a yo-yo class for some reason. There are also a few monster arenas where bosses and enemies can be spawned to gain items and gems. Also, this is a multiplayer server, so it comes with people to play with, talk to, or trade with, and a world that resets every 2 days. Oh, and if you want to build something, there is a section of the world that doesn't get reset, but you need to play for a bit to unlock that. There are also events like Expert Mode on Thursdays and Fridays, and occasional events like the Gates of Hell, where PvP gets turned on and the world is set to Master Mode. But for the majority of the time, the server is on Normal Mode. Just like any multiplayer server should be, you can work together to get things as well. Like one person could have a tank setup while another has maximum damage setup to take down a tough boss. Or you could just completely vaporize a boss with several high damage loadouts. The economy of the server is also interesting, since you can trade gems for items, or items for gems, or even items for items. You can do many things like grind for rarer items to sell, or buy an item you just can't seem to get. Well, that's great and all, but how do you join the server? All you have to do is go to the link in the description and on the website click Play Now. For the bonus of the video, I'll give you a sort of quick start guide. So when you first join the server, you need to choose either adventure or free items. Once you get into adventure, you need to make an account. Just type in chat /register, password, email. Then you can start playing the game. I recommend you start playing when an event is not active. Since the world is always post-Moonlord, enemies are super difficult to deal with during Expert and Master Mode events. You can find out if an event is active on the Teeria Legends Discord server. Anyways, just start off by exploring the world and finding accessories and stuff. It's pretty easy to level up in the early levels, and once you get a good weapon, you can go to the monster arenas using /warp to gain gems pretty quickly. If you're having trouble thinking of weapons to use, there is a document on the Discord, which I will also put in the description, that lists every item with their level and class requirements. Don't rule out anything. Difficult to get weapons or otherwise useless weapons might have a low level for their progression. Like the Titanium Repeater is pre-max at level 42, but the Venus Magnum is post-Plantera at level 36. You can do the same thing for armor, accessories, tools, mounts, everything. It's also a great idea to ask for certain weapons that are low level and easier for higher leveled players to get. As they're so cheap sometimes, you can get them for free. Another thing you can do is vote for the server to get gems. Especially for the lower levels, it's one of the best ways to get gems. Hopefully that wasn't too long. Everything else you can learn just by playing on the server. Maybe you'll get to see an end screen.